What's good, peeps? Thanks as always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. All right, before we start, this lighting, is it too dark? I would really appreciate your feedback just because I've changed a few things up here. Normally I have the ceiling lights on and one over there and obviously that one behind me. I've kind of moved that one to there and I've got a lamp there. Basically, I'm just trying something out just because I thought like the last few videos just looked too bright. So I'm just trying this out. So feedback would be appreciated. Again, this is my front room, so I'm limited in terms of what I can really do. But I have added a light there and turned that one off. So yes, let me know, please, what you guys think. All right, let's talk about this pay-per-view hike. It was announced, I think, yesterday that Sky will charge $24.95 for Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz. Remember, the normal price is $19.95. I swear I can remember when it was $9.95 and then $14.95. Obviously then $19.95, which has been for the last few years. And now this is the first time I can remember where it's $24.95. So $24.95, I think, is for standard definition. I think HD will probably be $29.95. So yeah, a lot of people were outraged. I think it's fair to say people weren't happy, and understandably so, right? Money's tight for everyone right now, especially this time of the year. So any increase is not going to go down too well, especially when it wasn't expected either. I think people just expected to pay the 20 quid that they've been paying for the last few years to watch Anthony Joshua fights. Now $24.95. I've read some of the comments. Again, people aren't happy. But what do you guys think? Let me know. People ask me what I think. Firstly, my first thoughts as soon as I saw the price increase were, I'm not surprised. If I'm honest with you, I'm not surprised whatsoever. I've always been shocked at the price American fight fans pay to watch their pay-per-view events. And I've always been like, my God, how can they pay? Like, some of the prices are just ridiculous. Like $50 to $70 to like $100 to watch events on Showtime and HBO. And I've just thought, my God, we're not that we're lucky in the UK, because that's not how it works. But compared to what we pay, I mean, we think we're getting ripped off with some events. I mean, they're getting their pants pulled down with no Vaseline, if you know what I mean. So, Derek Chisora. So, or Ice Cube. I've always felt like our prices in compared to American prices were just fair for pay-per-view events. Not trying to say pay-per-view is good and you should be happy to pay, but in comparison to what the Americans pay for their events, I've always felt like there's going to be an increase coming soon, just to kind of catch up to that, if that makes any sense. What I will say as well, though, is that the Americans don't have a standard price for pay-per-view. It really is dependent upon what they're showing, right? There isn't a standard price. And I do wonder if this is what Sky is going to do going forward. I don't know. People might say, Ade, you now work for Sky. Some insight. I don't know, people. A thing on that, by the way, I am going to Sky November 29th for my induction, so I'll let you guys know what happens after that. So I do think going forward, this isn't going to be the standard price. It isn't always going to be $24.95 going forward, but I do think they might pick and choose what events deserve to be higher charged, right? That's how I think it's going to be. And you can kind of understand that a little bit. I mean, should an Anthony Joshua fight, remember, he is the biggest name in British boxing, still is, I think. Should that be the same price as a Taylor Progress? Do you understand what I'm saying? And again, I'm not just saying this because I now work for Sky. I'm just saying I kind of understand how you can charge two different price points for two different things. Again, America have been doing it for years. Some of their fights, I think $89.95, some $50. So it depends on who's on. So I think that's what's going to happen going forward with Sky. I don't think this is the price going forward for every pay-per-view event. I do think it depends on who's watching, or sorry, who's on. I'm trying to think of their next potential pay-per-view fight. Possibly Chisora Parker or Chisora Usyk. Now, if they were to stick that on at $24.95, you can understand that there's a bit of an outrage, right? That, again, that's a $19.95 one. So, I'm not surprised, people. Like, I'm not happy. No one's happy there's an increase in price. I'm not going to pretend and sit here I'm happy there's an increase in price. Why would I be? But again, I'm not surprised. Sky must look at what Showtime are charging and what HBO used to charge and think we need to play catch up here. We do, in terms of our price point. I guess the confusion or the grey area is Matchroom. So Matchroom, when in America, work for a company who say pay-per-view is dead in DAZN, right? And then they're part of the price hike over here. I mean, yes, it's Sky's decision, but it's a Matchroom product, right? It's their talent that's on show. So I guess that's the confusing part, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. It's not, watching boxing isn't easy and it isn't cheap anymore. BT Sports, they're going to put pay-per-view events on. They've done it already with their last Tyson Fury events. You have to pay subscription to watch them. You have to pay subscription to watch Sky. Then you have to pay the pay-per-view on top of that. It's not easy and it's not cheap. And again, I do think they're going to have, going forward, sort of tiers for pay-per-view events. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 maybe. They might even have pay-per-view events. And I was thinking about this the other day. They might even have pay-per-view events that shouldn't be pay-per-view events, but they might put them on at like £10. I was actually thinking about this, like $9.95. And we think, or you think you're getting a good deal because it's $9.95, but then it shouldn't be a pay-per-view event in the first place. So they might start doing that. They might do $9.95, $14.95, $19.95, and £25, and have different levels of pay-per-view events. Could happen, honestly. It could happen. Because I look at someone, the reason I say that, I was just thinking about someone like Callum Smith. Don't know why, it came to mind. And I was thinking Callum Smith, for me, isn't a pay-per-view fighter. I get that he's good and all this and all that, but he isn't a pay-per-view fighter. He wants to be a pay-per-view fighter because he wants the extra cha-ching. So because he's not a pay-per-view fighter, you wouldn't put him on as a $19.95 pay-per-view. But they might try and chuck him on as a $9.95 pay-per-view. Does that make any sense? Yeah, anyway, that's what I thought. What do you guys think? Let me know. And let me know about the lighting, please, because I need to play about it because I do want it to look a bit better. I do think sometimes it looks a bit all fucked up, like I'm trying to bleach my skin or something. Peace.